Hi, my name is Bobbi, and I'd like to give a testimony. I've been saved since the age of 12, and I've had many opportunities to give great testimonies for what the Lord has done in my life. But today I'd like to talk about an issue that was not very glamorous, not very glorious. And I'd like to talk about it in order to help somebody who may be struggling with the same emotions that go with this issue. And the issue is marriage problems. In my life, I had been married about 12 years, and all of the sudden started feeling trapped and very miserable and unhappy and not understanding why. We were pastors at the time. We were pastoring a small church. My husband was a pastor, and we were working side by side to help everyone that we could in their own life struggles and their own issues, and trying to do our best to build a church and follow the call of God. All the while, we were helping everyone else. We were dying on the inside, and most people didn't know it. We didn't really communicate to each other, and we didn't communicate to other people. There were a few friends that we were able to talk to, but most of them did not know the extent of the issues that we were going through. I would advise you, if you're going through this, to be very, very careful who you're talking to. Make sure you're talking to somebody who can give you good, sound advice according to the Word of God, and not just based on emotions. I had certain friends who were giving me information based on emotion that would have destroyed my marriage had I listened. Then I had other people, like my mother, who loved the Lord herself and was able to help me. My mom was very good about listening. She would hear me out, let me vent, let me tell her all of my problems, but in the end she would say, "I understand how you feel, but now you get back in there and do the right thing." And when she would say this, I would get so angry and upset and feel like she didn't understand, she didn't hear me, she wasn't really listening. But in the end, I believe that's what caused me to keep fighting. Somebody telling me, do the right thing. I knew God could do it if I just gave him a little bit of space in my life. I remember thinking to myself, I don't want my children growing up with a separated home, or parents that were separated and not living together. I want them to have the luxury of having both parents for the strength of their life. So I thought to myself, I'm going to give this marriage, I'm going to stick this marriage out for the sake of my children. I'm going to keep hanging on and fighting until my children grow up, and then I'll decide what I'm going to do. And really in my mind I thought, when they turn 18, I'm out of here. But you know, God only needs a small seed to work with. When I gave him that bit of motivation, that bit of determination that I was going to stick it out, I believe God took hold of that because it was a little tiny ounce of faith that I had. And he connected with that faith and said, and helped me to grow strong in this. In the years to come, in the next 2 or 3 years, it was a struggle. We worked very hard on our marriage. We worked very hard on our communication. It wasn't always easy. Our emotions were always involved, but we continued to seek the Lord first and keep working on everything. And as we did that, the fire began to ignite. The strength of a marriage covenant began to ignite. And the more I look at it today, I look back and I think, thank God, I have a stronger marriage, stronger than I could have ever imagined at the time. And I only have that because of the greatness of God and because of the faithfulness of God. I'm able to stand here today and say, you can fight through this. Stand on the Word of God. Believe God that he will help you get through this. Your emotions are in play here, but what you need to do is step beyond emotions and go to faith. Trust God. Put your trust in him and watch him strengthen you where you don't think it's even possible. I hope I've encouraged you today. You can do it. Hold on and fight the good fight of faith.